If you're watching this, chances are you've taken the GMAT or you're about to, and you're wondering, should I retake it? Testers are asking this question all the time on forums and subreddits, so you are not alone. I'm Julia, and I am here today to help you break down when it's actually smart to put in the time and effort required for a retake. First off, if you're thinking about retaking the GMAT, then it's probably a good idea. But every situation is a little bit different, and it's worth considering why you are interested in a retake and what you would need to get out of it for it to be worth your time. Let's go through the most common reasons why people decide to retake the exam so you can consider whether any of them make sense for you. The most clear-cut situation is that you had a bad test day. You couldn't sleep, or you had a cold, or you ran into unexpected transportation and planning issues. If that was your situation and it negatively affected your score, stop right here and go reschedule your test. There is no reason to let a one-off bad day hold your score back. What about more persistent issues like test anxiety or distractions? These are also probably going to be good reasons to retake your exam, but they will require a little more work to address. So, say you were prepared, you studied a ton, but on test day, anxiety derailed your performance. If stress got the best of you, don't beat yourself up. It happens, and now you know you need to develop ways to cope with it in the testing moment. Before your next test, try some strategies to manage anxiety. You can do deep breathing, you can do mantras, even visualization exercises can be very helpful. There are plenty of simple, effective tools that can help you feel more in control for your next attempt. Practice using these techniques for a few weeks to see which ones work best for you, and then go ahead and reschedule your GMAT. Or perhaps the exam conditions hurt your performance. The test center was too cold or too hot or too loud, or you tried to take the exam online and there were some connection or proctoring issues that threw you off your game. If you chose to take the exam at a test center and you didn't like the experience, you could always try the online version and see if that works better for you. The reverse is also true. If you chose to take the GMAT online for convenience reasons, and then it was surprisingly inconvenient or stressful, reconsider whether going to a dedicated testing center would alleviate some of those worries that come with remote exams. If your nerves and room conditions were fine, but you still think you could have performed better, take some time to explore why you think that. Was it an issue of time management? If you got some questions that ended up eating up more of your time than you meant them to, then consider why that happened. It could be that you need to brush up on a couple of topics, or it could be that your time management has been good, but the new environment made you lose track somewhere. If it's the former, then be sure to refresh on the problem topics before you reschedule. If it's the latter, then it might be enough to be aware of that tendency to react differently in different situations. So knowing that time feels different in the testing room can help you rework your pacing strategy to be more effective for your retake. What if your practice test scores were significantly higher than your real score and you can't figure out a reason for the difference? If you were consistently scoring higher at home, something went wrong on test day. It could be subtle burnout or nerves, too subtle for you to have noticed in the moment, but enough to impact your score. There is a mandatory 16-day waiting period between GMAT attempts. Take some of that time to rest and then see if you feel better prepared to face the exam again. The relatively low score on your real exam could also be from a lack of data. How many mocks did you take before your previous attempt? 2 mocks might not be a big enough sample. If you've only taken a couple, I advise you to do a few more mocks with some time in between for thorough review. If you took all 6 before your previous attempt and you still had a much lower real score, then go back and review the mocks again to see if you did anything on them that you didn't do on test day, and then pivot your approach accordingly. Another possibility that comes up frequently is that you were preparing for the GMAT, but you didn't end up finishing your study plan and covering all the topics before it was time for your exam. If that's the case, there's a good chance that finishing the study plan will improve your score. The less you prepared initially, the more true this is. So if you got 90% through a GMAT study plan and then didn't have the score that you were expecting, that last 10% may or may not make a huge difference. If you got 40% through a study plan and you really want a higher score, there's no way around it. You'll have to learn about the topics that you didn't yet prepare for, but it will probably have a huge impact on your score. Sometimes the decision to retake isn't yours alone. Maybe you already got a conditional acceptance offer from one of the schools that you're interested in, pending a better score, in which case, if you want to go, you'll need to get that score. Or perhaps you're trying to qualify for some scholarships and you're not quite competitive. If a higher score could unlock financial aid or admission to a program that you're really interested in, and you've got time to improve, there's no reason not to go for it. Before deciding to retake the GMAT, consider how much work it will take to see the improvement you're hoping for and how much time and energy you actually have left to prepare for the exam. MBA applications have a lot of facets, and the GMAT is important, but you don't want to spend all of your effort on retakes at the expense of a balanced application. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.